Welcome to episode 7 of Grimnir Digest. The threat landscape is becoming increasingly complex with new techniques emerging every day. We will be discussing the latest threat analysis group bulletin, the cookie sandwich technique, and other critical stories. Let's get in. You trust your online security measures, or are you vulnerable to the latest threats? We will be exploring the answers to these questions and more in this episode. Google's threat analysis group terminated 11 coordinated influence operation campaigns on their platforms in the fourth quarter of 2024. The attackers operated by exploiting vulnerabilities in social media platforms to spread disinformation and propaganda. This campaign affected users across various industries and countries, with a total of 11 campaigns terminated. The motivation behind this attack appears to be ideological, with the goal of disrupting public discourse and influencing political opinions. This incident is part of a broader trend of coordinated influence operations, which signals a growing threat to the integrity of online information and highlights the need for increased vigilance. To defend against such attacks, individuals and organizations can take steps such as implementing robust authentication protocols, keeping software up to date with the latest patches, using fact-checking tools like Snopes or factcheck.org, and practicing critical thinking when consuming online information. Originally reported by Google's Threat Analysis Group. Researchers have discovered a vulnerability that allows attackers to bypass the HttpOnly flag on certain servers using the cookie sandwich technique. This technique exploits a weakness in the way some servers handle cookie requests, allowing attackers to steal sensitive information. The attackers operate by injecting malicious cookies into the request chain, effectively sandwiching the legitimate cookies between two malicious ones. This technique can be used to steal session cookies, authentication tokens, and other sensitive information. The scope of this vulnerability is broad, affecting numerous industries and potentially millions of users worldwide. The motivation behind this attack is likely financial gain, as stolen cookies can be used to gain unauthorized access to sensitive information. This vulnerability is part of a broader trend of attacks targeting web application security, highlighting the need for increased vigilance and security measures. To defend against this type of attack, individuals can take steps such as implementing secure cookie handling practices, using encryption, and regularly updating software and plugins. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Portswigger Research has updated its URL validation bypass cheat sheet with new payloads. The update includes 37 new bypasses and improvements to existing ones. Attackers are using URL validation bypass techniques to manipulate web applications by injecting malicious payloads into URLs, exploiting weaknesses in validation mechanisms, specifically targeting vulnerabilities in IP address parsing. This affects web application developers and security teams worldwide, particularly those in the finance and e-commerce sectors, with over 1,000 organizations potentially impacted. The motivation behind these bypasses is likely financial gain through exploitation of vulnerabilities. This incident highlights the evolving threat landscape where attackers continually find new ways to bypass security controls, signaling a growing need for robust validation mechanisms. To defend against such attacks, developers should implement strict URL validation, use tools like WAFs SAPI, and regularly update their cheat sheets with the latest bypasses. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. A newly discovered technique allows attackers to bypass web application firewalls by exploiting discrepancies in HTTP cookie parsing, affecting 93% of tested applications. Attackers operated by injecting a phantom dollar version cookie to manipulate parser behavior and gain unauthorized access to sensitive data, leveraging a previously unknown vulnerability. This vulnerability affects a wide range of industries, including finance and e-commerce, with potentially millions of users impacted worldwide. The motivation behind this attack appears to be financial gain, as attackers can exploit this vulnerability to steal sensitive user data. This incident is part of a broader trend of increasing sophistication in attacks targeting web application security, signaling a growing threat to online security that should concern all users. Defenders can take immediate action by implementing cookie parsing validation, using tools like Burp Suite and OWASP Z Attack Proxy to scan for vulnerabilities, and applying regular security patches to prevent exploitation. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Nominations are now open for the top 10 new web hacking techniques of 2024. This year security researchers from all over the world will share their latest findings. The web hacking techniques are expected to be shared via blog posts, presentations and proofs of concept. The attack vector involves a range of techniques including cross-site scripting and SQL injection. These techniques are often used to exploit vulnerabilities in web applications. The scope of the nominations is global with security researchers from all over the world participating. This means that the nominated techniques will have a wide range of applications and implications. The motivation behind sharing these techniques is to improve cybersecurity and protect against potential threats. This is done to raise awareness and promote collaboration among security researchers. This signals a broader trend of increased focus on web application security and the need for continuous monitoring and improvement. Non-technical people should care because these techniques can be used to compromise sensitive information and disrupt online services. Defenders can take steps to protect themselves by implementing secure coding practices using tools like OWASP app and keeping their software up to date with the latest patches. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Latest threat analysis group bulletin highlights the need for increased security measures. The cookie sandwich technique shows the vulnerability of HTTP-only flags, and nominations for the top 10 web hacking techniques of 2024 are now open. Subscribe, hit the bell, and comment which story concerned you the most. Visit Grimnir.net to read these articles and more, and stay ahead of the threats. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. Grimnir Digest does not endorse any specific security product or vendor. Always consult a qualified cybersecurity professional for advice specific to your organization.